a member of the powerful Appropriations Committee, and someone that has just really stood up for freedom throughout the world with the Community for Democracies and other efforts, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart from Florida.
Thank you, Mauricio. Thank you very much. Before I start, let me also thank and recognize a person who has dedicated years and years of his life and has done so in such an effective manner here in the halls of Congress, working for the cause of a free Cuba, and that is Mauricio. Mauricio, thank you for your job. I also want to recognize that I just happened to see him back there, and you know, he's one of my local guys, a dear friend, a strong patriot, County Commissioner Esteban Bowl. Thank you, sir, for being here. Today we have an outstanding group of pro-democracy activists assembled here to demonstrate solidarity with the Cuban people and demonstrate unity in the cause. I want to especially thank the International Republican Institute, also the Center for Freedom and Democracy, and also the Assembly of the Cuban Resistance for hosting this remarkable gathering today. I want to highlight a few others who are here today. I'm going to miss some, so I apologize, but I want to highlight just a few of them. I also want to highlight the Czech Republic, such strong advocates for freedom, and Ambassador, thank you. Thank you. The Republic of China and Taiwan, thank you for all you do. Our great friends from Hungary, who are also constant advocates for the cause of a free Cuba. And also, representatives from Qatar, for all you are doing to help. Thank you. And I close it, and again I apologize for missing so many of you, but I close that with the pro-democracy activists from Syria, a country that is frankly struggling and fighting and dying at the hands of this incredible repressive monster. Thank you for what you are doing. I also want to just mention some NGOs who I think are doing a phenomenal job. Again, in addition to the ones that I just mentioned, our hosts, and those include the National Endowment for Democracy, Carl, thank you again. Mar por Cuba, who's doing Never Stop. How are you? The White Rose Institute, and again, that's my brother Lincoln, who's here today. The Rosa Parks feminist movement, led by Berta Antunes. Thank you again. Frank Calzón and his Center for a Free Cuba. Proyecto por Cambio, again with Horacio Garcia, the Latin American and Caribbean Network for Democracy, and the Grupo Internacional Solidaridad Social Cooperativa. Again, thank you all for the work that you do day in, day out in the cause of people. Now, look, there's great unity, and I get the question all the time, you know, is there unity, is the community divided? And there is great unity in the cause for a free Cuba. We're seeing it here today. Last year, we recognized the importance of the Orlando Zapata Tamayo National Front for Civic Resistance and Civil Disobedience. We did that with a resolution in Vilnius, Lithuania, which was approved by the Parliamentary Forum of the Community of Democracies. That was on June 30th, 2011. But going back to 1998, where that exhaustive list of Cuban leaders, Cuban exile leaders and Cuban pro-democracy leaders in the island, they signed the Agreement for Democracy. And I'm going to read just one little part of it. And again, it was a document of unity and of cause and of purpose. Quote, we recognize as the fundamental principle of the new republic that Cuba is one and independent, whose sovereign reside in the people and functions through the effective exercise of representative multi-party democracy, which is the government of the majority with absolute respect for the minority. You know, that's also clearly stated, if I may, Carl, in Ned's Statement of Principles and Objectives, 1994. It states, and of course, democracy involves the right of the people freely to determine their own destiny. The exercise of this right requires a system that guarantees freedom of expression, belief and association, free and competitive elections, respect for the inalienable rights of individuals and minorities, free communications media, and the rule of law. So again, in the spirit of the solidarity established among the international community and international institutions, and among the Cuban community, both in exile and on the island, today we gather to demonstrate our unwavering support for the Cuban people and for those people who are struggling for freedom and for the oppressed people in Cuba. And we vow to step up our efforts even more with them to ensure that their democratic aspirations are finally realized. You know, the regime in Cuba is being challenged from within, just as others are confronting their oppressors in Syria. And I mentioned these brave leaders here. Iran, Communist China, Belarus, Burma, and elsewhere. And just as they are asserting themselves throughout much of the Middle East. At this critical time, it's important to note that freedom lovers, such as those assembled here today, those of you assembled here today, are united through our wills, our resources, to continue to confront oppression wherever on this globe it may occur. So while massacres against innocent men and women and children continue to occur in Syria, Iran continues to violently crack down on expression, and repression in Cuba escalates as pro-democracy activists are frankly being picked off one by one. We can't stand down. We must redouble our efforts. We must step up our assistance to the heroes who stand up to the depravity of the Assad and Castro regimes, who oppose the mullahs, and who speak out against the Chinese Communist Politburo. Thank you, all of you, for joining us here today to demonstrate our solidarity, our deep solidarity with the pro-democracy activists struggling against oppression. These courageous heroes, some of whom who will be recognized later on today in the program, need to know, they desperately need to know that the world stands with them. They are fighting on the side of good. And in the end, absolutely, they will triumph. So your presence here, again, I'm so grateful for your presence here. I'm so grateful for the work that you do. Thank you, and let's continue this until victory and freedom of truth. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.